Hey guys, welcome into the show before the show. Getting things set up still. You know, we get things going at about 9 o'clock. Hey guys, good morning. Hope everybody's doing all right. Hey, welcome into the show. Monday, people, April 7th. Glad you were with us. We're ready to get some things going. How do I do that? Good morning, everybody. Hey, Ben. Hey, Greg. Can you believe Wayne Gretzky is one goal away from... No, what is that? Is that from last week? Oh, ha, 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 ha. Funny. Greg, I'm sorry. I know you've got a great heart and you try to be funny, but you fail, dude. I love you, but you're not a comedian. You've got a big heart. You're like a doer for everybody. Is that funny? Actually, I've laughed at some of your jokes. Wayne Gretzky's one goal away. What is up on the list? Hey, Todd, welcome into the show. Oh, that was from last week. I got up there somehow. Hey, Sean. Good to see you, buddy. Good morning, man. Greg, good morning. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show, jumping in, everybody. Oh, I forgot about that. So much stuff going on. Good morning, Stephanie. Who is this dude? Goofball. The king of corny jokes since 1981. Hey, Stephanie. Well, corny jokes are fine. Stephanie says the fact that Ovechkin did it in the same amount of games is crazy. It is. It is bizarro. But what's interesting about that whole break, Ovechkin has like 83, it was 80, I think, penalty shot goals. Gretzky won because they didn't call it then. It's very interesting. I love Ovechkin. I think he's amazing. At their primes, I'd still take Gretzky. Sorry, I wouldn't. I broke the stats down. I don't know. It's amazing. Absolutely. I don't even want to get into that. Good morning, Kimberly. Sun is out. Yeah. We broadcast live out of the St. Louis, Missouri area. Sun is shining. Hasn't really done that in quite some time. Grateful you're with us, guys. Thanks for letting people know what we're up to, what we got going on. Greg says he missed 16 games this year, too. Good point. I'm just glad he's a pretty damn humble guy, and by all accounts, a great teammate. Glad everybody's in today. My son had his prom. He's a junior, the junior-senior prom. Already, April 3rd, or let's see, 7th, April 5th. Too early for prom? Lots of proms around the St. Louis metropolitan area. Not sure where everybody else has their prom around the country when it comes to the timing, but a lot. Good morning, everybody. Glad you guys are with us. I love you guys. The great one was so humble too. When Ovi broke his record, such a sportsman. Absolutely. Not to bore everybody, Jerry says I'll be visiting home in Granite City sometime this week. I'm only 200 miles north. Good for you. Blues have won 12 straight. Longest streak in the NHL this week. You're just told your horse, everybody's like, oh my God, it's 2019 all over again. Yes, they're playing extremely well. Let's just hold our horses. I turned it into a sports show, and yes, the Cardinals pitching doing exactly what it was supposed to do. Nothing. Right. Glad you guys are with us today. Let's see here. Good morning, Mike. Thank you. Obviously, you can catch us on YouTube, Rumble, X. Do we have any more music, Projo? Or should I play it as we get ready to start? Because I guess it ran out. Joe, you started the music. So anyway, Rumble, X, YouTube. Oh, there we go. Facebook. Appreciate it. Uh-huh. Happy Freedom Day for Mike. Morning, Jerry and Mike and Kimberly and Brenda. Thanks for jumping in again, guys. Still catching up here on some things. Lots of money talk, lots of tariff talk today. Lots of education. Oh my God, I didn't even see that. Greg says in sports and politics, a trans man won the women's billiards this weekend. Oh, makes me sick to my stomach. It's just not right, not fair. Oh well. Glad you guys are with us. I'm getting ready to start in just a minute or two. Just want things to be right. Just want things to be fair and just. Oh, I'm telling you right now. Oh, I got to put this in, Joe, then we'll start. This is big. I got so many. I hope we don't have issues with videos today, Joe. If there's anything you can do on your end where you are, please. This is huge. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Patriots. And good morning, Americans. All right. Let me see here. I like that. All right. Turn around. Hey guys, welcome into the show. Cancel this, canceltheshow.com. Vic Faust is here, Projo behind the scenes. Glad you're with us. It is Monday. It is April 7th. It is 9:03 Central Time from where we broadcast live from Strategic Air Holdings in the St. Louis metropolitan area. Good morning, Patriots. Good morning, America. And good morning to everybody watching in this morning on Cancel This. Okay, lots going on over the weekend. Oh my God, this guy is falling. This guy is falling. Democrats just looking for anything they can possibly find to try to tear down all the great that's going on. And they can't even protest correctly. The mental illness, as you guys all tell me that the Democrats have, is alive and well, and it's unfortunate. It is. It's unfortunate, but it's also fun to watch because they are losing their freaking minds, and with no good reason. Good morning, Matthew, Donna, Robert, Karen, all of you guys ready to get started today on this day. All right, with that being said, we are ready to rock and roll in the show this morning. Okay, education when it comes to what's happening from a standpoint with the tariffs, what's going on around the world, how people are reacting, what Trump is doing. He is always 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. I know it sucks. The Dow has come in today. The Dow is plunging again. Global markets are down. They're lower. The S&P, down 3.8% this morning. The Dow was down about 1,200 points. Tokyo's market has lost 8%. Yeah, these are massive shifts. They're tidal waves, really, when it comes to the financial industry. Okay, we get it. But if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. It's pretty damn simple. It sucks losing money. It sucks looking at your account. It sucks looking at lower numbers. But all of these people who are whining and crying and bitching and moaning, you just remember them and remember what they say when things change around. Just like they did before Trump became president, just like they did the last presidency, when everything went well, there's a plan in place. You plant the seeds. It makes so much sense. It's clear as day to me, and we are going to boom, as Donald Trump said. I know that I may be the ray of sunshine, the ray of hope, and sounding like that and all of this, but it will rebound. This man knows what he's doing. He's assembled a team. It all makes sense to me. It's black and white to me. I hope other people see this. I see it. I clear as day see what's going to happen. You have to go through the peaks and the valleys. It's going to change. That's all I hear all weekend. And then lies on top of it. I'll get the nasty lies out of the way first. Thousands of people all across the country trying to gain momentum, used by the media torch, the blowhorn that they have in the local media and national media, to try to say that people are upset with Donald Trump and we're rising against him. And what was the main message that we saw from the weekend? Leave our Social Security alone. Leave our Medicare and our Medicaid alone. Hey, dumbasses. And I'm sorry, I don't know any other way to say it. Number one, you're lying. Number two, you're not paying attention. And number three, it's already out there. Donald Trump and his administration are doing everything to increase Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid for, here's the key, those who are eligible. Cheating the system is gone. Cheating the system is done. The problem is Democrats are now lying. They're using the media to lie, and they're not telling the truth. Over and over and over again. All of this is going to add up. Once again, do not forget these media outlets. Do not forget these people, these family members, these politicians who are acting like, oh my God, they're trying to jump on anything they can to destroy Trump before everything gets great, because it's going to boom. And if we don't see that, I'll never do this damn show again. I won't. I'm an idiot. I'm out. I'll go do music with Greg or something from that standpoint. Because a lot of good is happening, but media won't cover it. We will on Cancel This and other podcasts and shows where you're going to get the truth. From the chat line, not a word from them all about the money they're making on short selling. Good point. The stock. Yeah, it's gone massively up. From Paul, interest rates will have no choice but to come down. And that's the reason why he's doing it. He's doing it because they're going to have, no doubt, Jerome Powell, come May, they're going to have to drop interest rates. Trump is a genius. He has put the team around him. But people who hate him and have Trump derangement syndrome are not going to tell you the truth. The national media will not, because their hate is too great to talk about truth. It's going to play. Save this show. Remember what I'm saying. This is all going to turn around and it's going to work for Americans. And remember the people who are out there lying, trying to get you not to listen. Oil plummeting from Glenn. Interest rates going to go down. Japan offering 0 tariffs now. And it's all across the world. We're going to get into that sound coming up. I know I'm coming out of the gate hot this morning because I've had a couple days to think about it. I'm watching what's happening, and I know it sucks watching this lose, but it's you give a step to gain 2 steps. Sometimes you got to give a little to get a little. I've talked about that a lot. Marty Morningweg, my former coach, one of the coaches I had at Mizzou. Sometimes you got to give a little to get a little when it comes to blocking. All right. Paul says the left thinks that Trump is vulnerable right now, so they're going to throw everything at him. That's exactly what's happening. Whether true or not, they're going to come after him because that's what they do. When you're losing and you have no policy and you have no plan, you're just going to throw anything against the wall and see what sticks and try to do it day after day. It's a desperate attempt by the left, and it's not going to work. As I said, watch this show. Things are going to change. So glad we have Trump to take care of business, because if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. Good morning to you, Jeannie. All right, here we go. Robert says, oh, he was replying. That's what I'm doing, unfortunately. I was too early and still in the red, but getting closer. Okay, we see it. $9 trillion of debt needs to be rolled over soon. Stupid Treasury Secretary under Yellen. She used the short-term rates to help the bankers. Of course she did. Once again, the 4 years under Biden were the worst 4 that we have ever had in the history of this country. And the 4 we're having under President Trump will be the best we've ever had. Mark my words. The left, their Trump derangement said, they can't be that stupid. It is black and white. See, it sucks what you have to go through. But is everything supposed to be easy? That is great? Hell no. You got to pay a price. Are you kidding me? It all makes sense to me. You guys are out rocking and rolling this morning. Jerry says, Vic, go check out Zero Hedge article about geofencing. Geofenced every event. Democrats caught staging another inorganic color revolution operation against Trump by Taylor Durden. I'll check it out. I won't have time to do it during the show. We've got a lot to get to as well. Hoping the video worked, because these are some of the things that are happening this morning. Another huge deal that's coming out of the gate this morning. I'll effort this sound here. The European Union. Oh, and you know, they just love Donald Trump in America. They despise us. They would stick us with whatever they could in the back, and they do every chance that they get. Guess what? They're ready to negotiate with Donald Trump. I'm excited. Everybody, there's so many people. Oh my God, the world's fine. No, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. And if Trump goes down, I'm going down with him, because he said this economy is going to boom, and he's putting the pieces together to do it. Don't believe the hype. You may have family members, you may have friends who are going to believe the hype and jump in and say, oh my God, he's horrible. What's he doing? Because they don't like him. So they're looking for something that they can possibly throw at him, throw the darts at him, do whatever they can, because, oh my God, we can't ever have anything like this happen. Never, ever, 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 ever. I love this from over the weekend as well. This shows you what's happening now.
I got a report from the USTR last night that more than 50 countries have reached out to the president to begin a negotiation. But they're doing that because they understand that they bear a lot of the tariff. And so I don't think that you're going to see a big effect on the consumer in the U.S., because I do think that
50 countries. Joe, if there's anything you can do to help out this situation with the video sticking, let me know from that standpoint. 50 countries have now reached out to Donald Trump and his administration to try to make things better, to make things right, because Donald Trump has literally shook up the world. He is the leader. He is the man with the thick skin, the Teflon skin, who said, you know what? I'm going to do whatever I have to do to change this, because we can't continue on this trajectory. Too many Americans just got used to being spoiled and everything being there and comfortable and ease. And it's all going to be like this. And we're just going to spend and run our credit cards up and debt. We owe China this, and who cares? It really doesn't. No, it's over. Donna says, you're so right, Vic. Nothing great really ever came easy. Special report already on legacy media this AM. Cowards. Of course they are. Have you noticed any pictures or video angles of protesters? It's just the front of groups. Of course they are. That's exactly what those protest groups are. That's why I'm not even showing them. It was stupid. I did see a video. I don't know where it was, but all these protesters lined up on the street. You had some big truck with diesel. Just happened to release black exhaust for like a half mile down the road. That was fun. Donna says, yay, Trump. No doubt. Yay, Trump. America's changing. Things are getting better. And you have to go through a growing process. You have to go through the growing process. You have to go through the growing process. These are the things that happen. But this has been around forever. And that's the problem. You've got to do something to get things better. And that's what America is doing. That's what Donald Trump is doing right now. And my God, are we fortunate. Let's hope that the video plays from this standpoint. Stephen Miller from Trump's administration explaining what's happening right now and what happened in the first place. Okay, that video, I think that's stuck again from that standpoint. Stephen Miller explaining that, listen, we got into this problem.
How the modern economy in America is structured. The president talks about more than anything else. And I guess to Carol.
Okay, Joe. Yeah, we got to figure out something, Joe. This video has to work, and if it's not going to work, then it makes up the show. So we got to figure this out somehow, some way from that standpoint. Can't go on and do a show with that. People forgive us from that standpoint with the video not working. Stephen Miller set out the stage. Something has to change. The can was kicked down the path, the road, so to speak. Nobody wanted to deal with it. Nobody wanted to handle anything from that standpoint. And as the chat line says, before the 20th century, we didn't have income taxes and our budget was paid by tariffs. You've already seen where America was going broke with all of the price gouging, the spending, the nastiness, the money to other sources, the underwater basket weaving, the transgender education in Zimbabwe, and all of these other crazy things that Elon Musk and Doge have uncovered and saved America. These are the things that are good. These are the things that are happening. Donna says, when George Washington crossed the Delaware in winter, his men having no shoes, etc., no food. What was the outcome in the battle? It was victory. The Battle of Bunker Hill. Americans need to get tougher. We need to suck it up. We need to appreciate what we have. We became soft, fat, lazy, excuse-ridden, and now we have a leader that is coming to save the day. And Americans know you are in the majority. The silent majority will speak up. We've got the loud minority who are trying to yell, say things, make things up that are not true. And we won't sit back and we won't do that. We're not going to sit back and let them lie and cheat and steal and say all the things that they're saying right now that are not true. The market's going to change. Things are changing fast. Like we said, the European Union now wants to change things. By the way, the Brent crude, we're talking about rates plummeting, oil prices plummeting. Deregulation is happening, people. It's happening. Trump's not going to bend. He said a number of times that he's trying to build the economy. He's trying to make it independent as opposed to relying on China as we did for so long. Crude oil is down, the prices. I mean, the stocks are set to extend steep losses on tariffs. Recession fears, yeah, okay, blah, blah, blah. He's doing what he needs to, number one, to get the rates back down. Number two, to save the economy. Number three, to get rid of inflation, because all of this has been building for a while, and it got really bad under Joe Biden and his administration, the worst that we had ever seen in the history of this country. I am so damn grateful that we have Trump there. Paul says, 100% agree with that statement. How could you not? Anybody that has half a brain, as all of us do, can see what's going on right now. But you're going to have liars, cheaters, scammers, and stealers all out there say, oh, this is bad. This is horrible. We can't have this. Oh, my God. No way could this ever, 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 ever happen. Yeah. Well, it's happening. And we're grateful that we have Donald Trump, who is with us right now to take care of all of the business. Let's see if we can get this from Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Hopefully the sound will play. If we can't get the sound to work, it'll be a shorter show today. And I apologize. Our technical people will have to take care of this and figure this out because this was an issue last week and it will never be an issue again. Here's Marco Rubio explaining everything that's going on. Let's see if we can get this to work from the standpoint.
Crashing, and they are now.
They're
Okay, that's not working, so we're not going to play it, and I apologize from that standpoint. Marco Rubio, when it comes to explaining what is happening, what's going on, is basically setting up what Trump is doing, letting people understand, letting people see, letting people know that A connects to B, B connects to C, C connects to D. This all makes sense. Yet the world is freaking out, but they know that they have no other hope than to get into business with Donald Trump. They know that the free living, all of those things, guess what? It's over. The free stay is over. It's time to pay your way, just like the American citizens have done for so long. Our tax dollars going to all these things, to all these countries for all these years. Chris says, yes, the stock market is going down and 401ks with it. But I think of this story. Only 38% of Americans have a 401k account or assets in the markets. That's it. So if prices and interest rates are dropping, the majority of the American population will be affected positively by the drop in prices and interest rates. Ding, 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 ding. Couldn't agree with you anymore. Georgia Democrats walk out in protest of a bill that ends taxpayer funding of sex change operations for inmates. Yeah, we covered that story last Thursday. Robert showed video of these. They're tyrants. They're losers. They're getting paid with tax dollar money, and they're walking out because inmates can't use our money to have sex changes. That's how sick the Democrats have become. And you don't have Democrats calling them out for it. They got to stand on something. And when you don't have policy and you don't have Americans at the forefront of your decision making, you're going to fall on things like that. I mean, how stupid is that? Robert goes on to say, how can anybody vote for these disgusting clowns? 80% of stocks owned by, I think you're trying to say the top 3%. Yeah. Yeah. Jeannie says, remember Black Monday? Yep, she certainly does. Yeah, these things happen. The stock market is the lowest. Stocks. By the way, the stock market is not our economy. I repeat, the stock market is not our economy. I have a video on that, but I don't know if the video is going to work, so we'll have to wait and see where it is. But you guys are rocking and rolling this morning as you do. You are the best audience anywhere. You pick up the show and you carry it from that standpoint. Love it. Appreciate you guys jumping in today. Okay. The stock market is not the economy. The stock market is not the economy. But there's too many people who are freaking out right now. Oh my God, the world is falling. The world is falling. The world is falling. I will try to play another video to see if this will work, to explain what's actually happening with these tariffs, because I'm going to continue to scream from the mountaintops as much as I can about what's happening and why this is what America needs. And all of you, I guess, pretty much feel the same way, and you see what is happening. We can't sit back. We can't let people say, oh, he's horrible. Look what he's killing us. He's hurting. And then they're lying on top of it. Once again, with the Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid argument, Trump is actually saving it. He's not running it into the ground. And we should all be grateful for that. Let's see if we can listen to this when it comes to the art of the deal, meeting the reindustrialization of America, because this is such an
Liberation
part.
Day is upon us as Donald Trump slams.
All right, we come back in and we talk about the economy and things that are happening from that standpoint. All right, you've got to love where we are because we have hope. We have a plan. You put together, you plan the attack, and then you attack the plan. And that's what America is doing right now with Donald Trump. And that's why we say, keep the receipts. Remember the scorecard of everything that's going on. From the chat line, No one loses anything unless they sell. Correct. Donna said sex change for inmates. What the hell? Yeah, that's the Democrats' plan. Oh, and by the way, the Democrats are also fighting to keep gang members of M13 and Trinidad in the United States from being deported. That's what the Democrats have gone with. The Democrats' platform right now, and the ones who are coming after Trump, one, men should be allowed to play in women's sports. Two, we should be able to keep illegals, gang members in the United States. These are what Democrats want, those two, on top of those. And three, sex changes for inmates. I mean, this is insane. Paul says, change starts at the local level. If you guys want to hold on to the direction we're going, get out and vote tomorrow with your school boards because they're still out there. They absolutely are. We've talked about that before. Get out and vote. Try to study up on what you can from that standpoint. They're still wanting to invoke their agendas at the local levels. And these people who wish to do harm and wish to push this kind of message are really angry right now because Donald Trump and conservatives have taken over this country. Common sense has taken over this country. And these people are so angry with their Trump derangement syndrome, with their Elon derangement syndrome, that they want to have their way. And we'll push on whatever we need to push on when it comes to America, when it comes to kids in the classroom. Donna says, buy gold. Jeannie says, I trust Trump 100%. So, this coming from the chat line, under Biden, car prices went up $8,000 in the United States on average. But the left is gaslighted with reports that prices may go up $6,000 due to tariffs. Once again, Democrats are unable or refuse to tell the full story. We'll always get that full story for you right here on Cancel This. Take them straight to their homes. Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. From the chat line, Donna says, weirdos wanting us all to change our core values so they can fit in. Yeah, those are the things that are happening all over this country. It is sad to see what is actually happening. But, you know, we'll see where it goes. Joe, if you put video up, just let me know on the chat line. Not sure. Tanya says, get out and vote for better school board members. 100%, because we already know what they'll try to do. Just because they're loud doesn't make them right. Of course not. That's what we've been telling people. Just because they're loud does not make them right. Joe, if you popped up that last video, you can do that again because I can set that video up for you as well. The video that you just had, Joe, you can pop up, and why not? You have it there. We'll try to get to some of the other video as well. This is Representative Don Bacon from Nebraska. He's a Republican, sounding very much like a rhino. And people need to remember who this guy is because Nebraskans deserve better. If you can play it, Joe, go on, because this guy is going against Trump and everything that's going on. You're allowed, but just remember, let this guy pay for it at the voting box.
I know you are introducing companion legislation to what Senator Cantwell just laid out for us. But as I understand it, in the House, Republican leaders have already restricted the ability to rein in changes to the Mexico, Canada, and China tariffs. They tucked language into the continuing resolution. Does that get in your way when you are trying to now claw back some congressional control of tariffs?
Well, first of all, good morning, Margaret. Thanks for having me on. And I enjoyed listening to Senator Cantwell. I support the legislation that Senator Grassley, Senator Cantwell, we have a total of 7 Republicans in the Senate. And I have some beginning support on the House side, which we'll unveil tomorrow. It will be harder to pass this in the House, no doubt. I think if we get 60 votes in the Senate, they'll put pressure on the House to look at this. And if we continue to see the stock market go a certain direction, or if we see inflation or unemployment shift in a bad way, I think then this bill becomes a very viable bill. So it will not pass tomorrow or maybe in the next couple of weeks, but this will be in the queue that we can use. And it's time that Congress restores its authorities here. In the Constitution, it's clear. The House and the Senate, Congress has the power of tariffs and taxes, and we gave some of that power to the executive branch. And I think in hindsight, that was a mistake.
Okay. Yeah. You want to go against Donald Trump and what he's doing? Good luck. Nebraska, remember this guy, what he's trying to do and what he's saying. That is ignorant. Sure, yeah, what he's saying is, but this is now not the time. It is not the time. It is not the time. We may be able to show you the video I was just trying to show you, the education video, when it came to the art of the deal, meeting reindustrializing America, on what's actually happening. Can we really get back? Those sorts of things that we're trying to do right now. I just sleeper Democrats, Republicans activated. Yeah, exactly. We already know they're out there. We haven't lost our minds. We've already seen it. It's been proven. You see it with the voting. These people obviously have an agenda and they're trying to make it go. We'll go from there. Joe, just let me know if we can get that video, man, that I was telling you about. The headline was Peter St. Ange. So I'm not freaking out. We've got 50 different countries trying to work with the United States right now. You have the European Union this morning coming out and saying, we are open to talking to Donald Trump. He is changing everything right before our eyes. Now, I wanted to play this video again to talk about what's happening with the economy. What is real, what is not.
Liberation Day is upon us as Donald Trump slams massive tariffs on nearly every country in the world outside of a few rocks in the Pacific and the Vatican. Is it too early to dream of buying something at Walmart that is not made in China? So I've been calling these the nuclear tariffs, and indeed they were much bigger than markets or trade partners expected, with the Dow falling.
All right, Joe, you can go ahead and stop it. We're not going to play from that standpoint. Basically just explaining what we've already done today. If you can pull up the Scott Bessent video and try to play that, Joe, that would be fantastic. We've got another issue that's going on. The people who work for the president are out. Marco Rubio explaining what is happening. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, just obliterating Kristen Welker on tariffs with numbers. I can give you his quote if the video does not work from this standpoint, but if it doesn't, I'll go right back to it. This is what you need to do. You need to go out with truth. You need to go out with facts, because the local and national media you cannot trust. We already know that. There's a reason why the ratings have dropped, because they don't tell you the truth. Listen to Scott Bessent.
Kristen, what I like is data. And if we look at data from President Trump's first term, and there's a big study that just came out from a group of economists, mostly at MIT, that showed that a 20% tariff on China led to a 0.7% tax or price level increase over 4 years. I think that's pretty good. If we can take in 20% in tariffs and it's a 0.7% increase. And Kristen, the little publicized story this week, everyone wants to look at the stock market going down. You know what else went down? Oil prices went down almost 15% in 2 days, yes, which impacts working Americans much more than the stock market does. Interest rates hit their low for the year, so I'm expecting the mortgage applications to pick up.
Well, just to be very clear, though, I mean, during President Trump's first terms, the cost to Americans was nearly $80 billion in new taxes due to his tariffs. The prices did go up on everything from washing machines to tires.
Well, no, but let's go back. The aggregate number was 0.7, so we can discern the individual things. Also, households saw real net wages go up. So if wages go up faster than prices, which is not what happened over the past 4 years, that's why the bottom 50% got eviscerated.
Isn't it nice to have somebody with an education, a background, a brain to set the local media say? How Kristen Welker has a job on pure merit anymore is beyond me. But as long as you give the Democratic talking points, then obviously you can keep your job. I mean, you want to talk about a super uneducated person or a super biased person, that is what you get. From the chat line, when the Dems say Trump can't use his executive power, it's a lie. Trump is using a program Obama and the Dems created. That's exactly what he's doing. He just renamed it, and he's saving Americans money along the way. We are in a good situation. We are in a good situation. We're in a good situation. We are going to be wealthy. We continue to win. It is the golden age of America, and we're not going to stop. Donald Trump is not going to stop. He has already brought world leaders, countries to their knees because of what is happening and what's going on. This is what was going on with the European Union, who I talked about, who came out this morning and said, guess what? We're ready to work with Donald Trump in America.
We stand ready to negotiate with the United States. Indeed, we have offered 0 for 0 tariffs for industrial goods, as we have successfully done with many other trading partners, because Europe is always ready for a good deal. So we keep it on the table. But we are also prepared to respond through countermeasures and defend our interests. We stand ready to negotiate with the United States.
We stand ready to negotiate with the United States. Isn't that interesting? We stand ready to negotiate with the United States. We stand ready to negotiate with the United States. I love it. Things are changing. And the politicians that you need to remember are the politicians like Senator Deb Fischer. Deb Fischer did an interview here over the weekend. And this interview is somebody that makes sense. Give Trump time. We elected him. Now watch what happens.
But I want to give the president time. That's where I'm at, and that's where Nebraskans are too. To be able to give the president time. As you quoted what he had put up this morning, I agree with those points. We're seeing a decrease in oil prices. We're seeing food prices come down. Here in Congress, we are looking at spending cuts to get spending under control. We're looking at getting rid of a lot of regulations out there. All of that is part of this package. So when we wait for the president's tariffs to be able to have an impact on the unfair trade practices that we have seen against ag producers, against manufacturing here in America, we want to make sure that we're going to be addressing that. Right now, for example, ethanol. Nebraska is an ethanol state. Yep. We are the second largest producer. When we talk about ethanol, ethanol from Brazil comes in with no tariff right now, none. They pay 0. But yet when we export ethanol to Brazil, 18%. Those kinds of actions by other countries need to stop. Those are prohibitive for exports. We had an administration under Joe Biden that did nothing. They had no interest whatsoever in trade.
Well,
and we saw
right.
over $40 billion trade deficit.
Yeah, you give a chance. You give time. So that senator in the state, is setting the record straight, while Don Bacon, don't forget that name in Nebraska, reminds me of Mike Pence, is basically saying we're going to stop whatever we need to, blah, blah, blah. I guarantee there's people in his ears. I just keep thinking about the people who, I guess it was about a month ago. Remember the guy that invests people's money? A 73-year-old man, and you can be gay, straight, whatever. He just said, I've got a 73-year-old gay man who is upset that he voted with Trump right now because he's worried about his money. And a 67-year-old, another multimillionaire who has voted on both sides of the bracket. Trump's going to lose the Republican. I'm like, dude, you've lost your mind. And you have lost your mind. Yes, there's some people they look at, they're like, oh my God, look at all of our money. We look at it. And of course it goes down, but you got to keep going. Step after step, minute after minute, hour after hour, day after day. Deep breath. Robert says that 18% is not a tariff, but a VAT tax, a VAT tax that works even worse than a tariff, as the export country gets an 18% rebate from their government to export. America is now learning. And once again, the flashlight being shined in that dark hole, and we see all the critters running out. You know why? Because now we're cleaning up. Orkin has arrived, and it's time to extinguish and exterminate all of the nastiness that's been in our government. There's a little growing process, some growing pains. It's going to be good. Marco Rubio, really with an outstanding explanation, our Secretary of State, of what's happening and putting reporters, because they're trying to put Trump people on guard, but they can't get.
Markets are crashing around the world for the second day in a row. The consensus is that the president's tariffs were much higher than expected and based on economic formulas that people do not understand. What is your reaction and what is the impact on Europeans? You want them to spend more on defense,
Yes.
which they're agreeing to finally, but how can they do that when their economies are crashing and they are now
No, their
afraid to-
no, their economies are not crashing. The markets are reacting. No, their economies are not crashing. Their markets are reacting to a dramatic change in the global order in terms of trade. And so what happens is pretty straightforward. If you're a company and you make a bunch of your products in China, and all of a sudden shareholders or people that play the stock market realize that it's going to cost a lot more to produce in China, your stock is going to go down. But ultimately, the markets, as long as they know what the rules are going to be moving forward, and as long as that's set and you can sustain where you're going to be, the markets will adjust. Businesses around the world, including in trade and global trade, they just need to know what the rules are. Once they know what the rules are, they will adjust to those rules. So I don't think it's fair to say economies are crashing. Markets are crashing because markets are based on the stock value of companies who today are embedded in modes of production that are bad for the United States. We have to be a country that thinks we're the largest consumer market in the world, and yet the only thing we export is services. And we need to stop that. We need to get back to a time where we're a country that can make things, and to do that we have to reset the global order of trade.
And the other part of my question.
Well, the worst thing is to leave it the way it is forever. I mean, just can't continue. We can't continue to be a country that doesn't make things. We have to be able to make things to provide jobs for Americans. That's it. It's that simple. China is an example. I mean, it's outrageous. I mean, they don't consume anything. All they do is export and flood and distort markets in addition to all the tariffs and barriers they put in place. So the president rightly has concluded that the current status of global trade is bad for America and good for a bunch of other people, and he's going to reset it, and he's absolutely right to do it.
Let me ask you about also the predictability of relationships with allies. The Prime Minister of Greenland, the Prime Minister of Denmark, which at this point owns Greenland, so Denmark, a NATO ally, is saying that it's unacceptable that one country cannot annex another country.
Well, no one's annexed anything. It's going to be up to Greenlanders. The Vice President made that clear. He's going to respect the self-determination of Greenlanders. So at some point, the Greenlanders have made clear that they want to be independent of Denmark. So that's Denmark should focus on the fact that the Greenlanders don't want to be a part of Denmark. That's what they should focus on. We didn't give them that idea. They've been talking about that for a long time. Whenever they make that decision, they'll make that decision. And then what we're not going to do is let China come in now and say, offer them a bunch of money and become, dependent on China.
The president said he would not rule out using military force against Denmark, a NATO ally.
No, he said he would not rule out. No. He said he would not rule out. He said, I'm not going to rule out anything if Greenland is encroached upon by a foreign power like a China or Russia or anybody else. But it doesn't matter because Greenlanders are going to make a decision. They're the ones that want to get away from Denmark. They're the ones that want to be independent. Not us. We didn't come up with that idea. They did. And if they make that decision, then the United States would stand ready, potentially, to step in and say, okay, we can create a partnership with you. We're not at that stage. But that's what the Vice President made clear last week in his visit there. His statement was very abundantly clear, that we will respect the self-determination of the people of Greenland. People of Greenland, and they're the ones that want to leave Denmark. That wasn't our idea.
All right, well, second question here. Missy from Washington Post.
Mr. Secretary, I'd like to ask you about the Russia-Ukraine negotiations. Can you give us tell us about the American assessment of the conditions that Russia put forward regarding the Black Sea ceasefire talks, and also the British and French foreign ministers said this morning that Putin was dragging his feet. Do you agree with that?
Maybe. I mean, he might be. We don't know yet. We're going to find out fairly soon. I mean, look, here's what the president wanted to do. He wants to end this war, and he wanted to test it very early in his administration. Is it possible to end this war on terms that are acceptable, obviously, to both sides? Because you can't end a war unless both sides agree. And that's what we're in the process of finding out. We will know soon enough, in a matter of weeks, not months, whether Russia is serious about peace or not. I hope they are. It would be good for the world if that war ended. But obviously we have to test that proposition. So we're working through that process. We had a visitor, Mr. Kirill, was here this week. Had a chance to sit down with him. He met with others. He'll take some messages back, and the message is the United States needs to know whether you're serious or not about peace. Ultimately, Putin will have to make that decision. The Russian Federation will have to make that decision. I think the Ukrainians have shown a willingness to enter, for example, into a complete ceasefire to create space for negotiation. at some point here fairly soon, not 6 months from now, you know, the Russians and Putin will have to make a decision about whether they're serious for peace or not, and I hope they are serious. So it would be good for the world if that
And
war
what is,
ended.
what is your assessment of the Russian conditions that were put forward? And also, Dmitriev said, following his talks with Mr. Witkoff yesterday, that the U.S. and Russia might resume direct flights as maybe a confidence-building measure. Do you support that?
Okay, we can go ahead and get out at that standpoint. Marco Rubio, I mean, how damn good has he been in his role? Think about what we have had in the past to what we have now. He gives fact. He talks about the policy. He gives examples. He shows reporters that their questions are not legitimate questions. He explains it. And I saw somebody from the chat line say, what the hell? How many times does this need to be explained? Are Democrats really that dumb? I know we've talked about the D standing for dumb in Democrats. Either they know and they don't want to admit it, or they are that dumb. This is what you do. You can't do status quo. You can't kick the can down the road and say, screw you, son or daughter, screw you, grandkids, screw you, great grandkids. We need to take care of it now. Hell, Elon was talking and telling us about what has happened to our economy and what was going to happen to our economy, not the stock markets, the economy. From the chat line, Chris says, Rubio has been the biggest surprise of the Trump administration. Matthew says, little Marco, just kidding. He's doing so well as Secretary of State. I mean, he is, like I say, he is kicking ass in that role. He's genius, and he gets how to talk to people from other countries. He also understands what is happening, and the local and national media are losing their freaking minds because everybody Donald Trump has put into place has done an outstanding job. I mean, we're just a few months in. All the attacks, all the spears thrown, all the darts, everything else, it's not working. America is becoming great again, wealthy again, healthy again in every facet. And we're undoing the deep state. We are taking care of the problems. It's all about, as Amy said as well in the chat earlier, reset the global order of change. It's that simple. What part do they not comprehend? They understand. I think more Democrats do understand. I know people talk about the disorder, the mental disorder that doesn't allow them to rationalize, that they can't see common sense. But I still have to think. I know the hate because I knew one of these guys. I got to know him, and just Joe and I literally looked at ourselves like, does he really believe what he's saying? Is he being paid to say what he says? Because it was so outrageous and not for the betterment of America by any means whatsoever. Just take the high road, speak truth, be a great person as much as you possibly can, and know that we have a man in office that does care about us. Another point, because I told you a lot of financial talk today. How about inflation? Rates are going to come down. Like I said, save this show, mark my words, see what's going to happen. Remember those people who are trying to say that everything is going to go. I think they're more angry because they know it's going to be another massive success for Donald Trump, and they can't stand to hear it. And we love it. From the chat line. Okay, look at inflation. Inflation is disappearing. Look at this map. Look at where we were. Look at the time frame as we start to come down. March heading into April. The Truflation U.S. Inflation Index, where we were back in November and December at the start of January, and look at what has happened with inflation rates. Down, 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 down. We are on a downward trend. We know what we're doing. Trump knows what he's doing. His entire team knows what they're doing. They have put it together, and we show you the facts here day after day, week after week, month after month. The information is there. Guys, this is a good time to be an American. This is a great time. Maybe the best time to be an American in what's coming up, despite all of the crazy, despite all of the crap that's out there, despite all of the things that are thrown at us. My God, is it time? Yeah, you said it. Now is a time to buy. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? As Donald Trump said, this is an opportunity for people to become very wealthy, very wealthy. I'm telling you, buy. We're going to boom. It's going to happen. Remember all of these people. Glenn says, it really doesn't matter because we're the planet that's doomed in 7 years because of global warming. I love you guys. You guys really are the best group. You really are. Yeah. Wait. Oh, climate change, global warming. It's so real. Oh my God. Is that buy stock, buy stock, buy stock? Greg says, do you know where those that take their money out of the stock market is putting their money? Banks and bonds, government bonds? I don't know. To each their own. Joe, thank you for saving video and saving the show, buddy. This is a quote I thought was funny too from Donald Trump. Not only is he a genius, not only does he have a heart, not only do every Democrat and Republican that meet him talk about how great he is and how he cares. Joe says he's one of the best comedians, like literally comedians as well. He has a great personality. Listen to this quote. Donald Trump has come out and told all of these people who are freaking out. They're freaking out. Just stop. Donald Trump says, quote, the United States has a chance to do something that should have been done decades ago. For our listeners on the podcast, decades ago in all caps. Don't be weak, exclamation point. Don't be stupid, exclamation point. Don't be all caps, a panican. P-A-N-I-C-A-N. Don't be a panican. In quotes, or in parentheses, excuse me, a new party based on weak and stupid people, exclamation point. All right, he says, be strong, courageous, and patient, and greatness will be the result. Glenn, I've said it over and over and over again. I wish I had a lot more money to invest. I don't right now, but I would be all over XRP. I've been telling you guys that for at least 6 to 8 months. Yes, Glenn. Bonds build infrastructure. Jay says back in the 80s, we were supposed to be dead in 10 to 20 years. Judy says there's a poll, by the way. And she says, I hate polls. Always look at who is sponsoring the poll. I've told you that before. Look at where the poll is coming from, who's doing it, who's sponsoring. It'll tell you a lot about that. I learned a lot about these polls in 25 years of news anchoring. Yeah, look at them. But that poll had Trump at a 58% approval rating. It's even higher. You're not going to hear that on TV. Yeah, despite the tariffs, his approval rating continues to climb. Mainstream media, local media aren't going to tell you that. It's because the minority is the loud voice, the squeaky wheel. Yeah, whatever. Amy says, yeah, but watch what happens. Who will they give accolades to when it all turns around? Whatever happened to their concept that the first year is a result of the previous president's administration. Good point. But we're also seeing this president do unprecedented things to make changes very quickly. So I'm not even saying it's going to be a year, but that's a great point, Amy. I do believe we're going to start to see some of these things change. Look how fast the inflation, the poll I just showed you, is going to happen. And there is no way in hell, Jerome Powell does not lower interest rates unless he really wants to hurt the American citizen. I think Trump's put all the pressure on him. He's already calling them out. He's telling them that interest rates should already be down. These are really, 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 really good things that are going on right now. Love it. And everyone, single other couldn't do this. Yeah, from the chat line. Yeah, Amy says, I don't think it's going to be a year either. Time to panic. Hurry, guys. The next ice age will be here in 12,000 years. Run, hide. That's funny. Okay, I'll give you that. That was funny. We've talked a lot of financial things today. Just real quick off the beaten path. Chris says, slightly off topic, but was in Columbia visiting my daughter for her sorority's family weekend. I'm assuming Columbia, Missouri. It's a college campus. We know how those are. They're changing, but not fast enough. So you were there for family weekend. There was a Trump-Elon protest at City Hall. It was pathetic. Maybe 40 people at best. And only a handful looked like actual students. Times are changing even on college campuses. They are. When Charlie Kirk goes to these colleges now and he's greeted by thousands of cheering fans, you know things have changed. The other thing that you bring up, and this is why I bring it up, when you talk about these protests that are going on, paid actors or not, staged or not, you don't see the younger people out there. You don't. You see a lot of people filled with hate and anger and older people. You just do. You just do. And they're just people that look and act ugly. Look at them. And they're still trying to cover their faces too. Another sign of cowardice. They're not, the young people are not doing this, man. I'm telling you, the younger people, the younger generation, they've changed. I agree. And they're not these huge groups of people anymore because they know things are going well. Love it. The Fed has an unscheduled meeting today coming in from Glenn's. Thank you for that. I did not see that or know that. I don't know when that was noticed. I'm telling you, things are changing. Trump, sometimes I don't know if we as a country deserve what Trump is, what he's about, and what he's doing. Now, those people who want to yell and they don't want to look at facts, and they can't get out of their brain whatever it was that set them off in the first place. But people who love Trump are not abandoning Trump. It's not happening. It's not happening. I'm just grateful. So grateful we have going on right now. Jerry says, I saw 53% from Real Clear Politics graph, probably 60% in real time, talking about Donald Trump and his approval rating. But his approval rating is going up, even after the tariffs. Don't be a panikin. Just remember that. As Donald Trump tells us, don't be a panikin. Don't be a panikin. There's also something. If you have the graphic, you can put this up if you want. This is about the new Prime Minister of Canada is backtracking and calling America the most important security ally. You've also, it's good to see this because America is winning. We were told that we were going to get tired of winning, and a lot of winning is now going on. Also, the UK Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, has declared that globalization has failed, and he plans to show that he understands President Trump's tariff decision. I told you last week, Europe is dying on the vine when it comes to their economy. You know Trump knows this. They're putting them between a rock and a hard place. They're going to have no other route besides the one that runs right through the red, white, and blue. They're going to have to talk to us. They're going to have to deal with us because the stealing from America is over. It's done, people. And now all the chess master is playing his game. All the pieces are being put in their spots right now. And Donald Trump is winning. King me. He's the man. Here's Canada.
You said previously that the relationship that Canada had with the United States is now over. Is the U.S. still our ally?
The U.S. Absolutely. Look, the U.S. is absolutely our ally. It's our ally in security and defense partnerships. It's our most important security ally. For example, it's still, even with these tariffs, the largest trading partner.
You said previously.
How about that? How about that? People, we like to end on a happy note. We are in a good spot. It is time to buy. We have the plans that are being put in place. It's not just sitting back and waiting to see what's going to happen. We are not we are not a reactive country anymore. We are proactive. Donald Trump and his administration is proactive. These little stupid, uninspired protests mean zero. And it's not, I repeat, it is not a passionate movement. It's little. It's local. It's paid for, and it's not moving the needle. And Trump's approval ratings continue to get higher. Glenn Thompson said Klaus Schwab has resigned from the World Economic Forum. If you look at what happened also at the end of last week, thanks to Doge uncovering the United States stopped a $52 to $54 million payment to the World Economic Forum. All of this money saved. I know people have their thoughts, opinions, like, dislike Elon, whatever. But when he leaves officially in like May, I'm going to be bummed out. I hope he sticks around because the amount of money that's been saved is incredible. Nope. From the chat line, Trump is not playing. It's time to we were just talking about reset the world order. And God knows for how long we get it, but enjoy every single day of what we're getting because these things are important. And when it comes to voting in Trump, as Paul says, remember to get out and vote. Don't take it for granted in your local election. Spread the news, spread the word, because no more excuses with lower voter turnout for school boards is where it starts. It does. And those school boards and these people on these school boards, we've been showing you some of these videos. They're angry. They want to lash out. They want to get back at the conservatives because Donald Trump is winning. And if they have a chance at the lower level, they're going to do it. So you need to go out and vote. Don't take it for granted. Whatever school district you live in, because we have seen and we saw during COVID. And now all of those school board members, remember, I said, keep receipts. Remember the scoreboard. Remember the score. These people, what they did during COVID and post-COVID and trying to force you and your kids to be vaccinated and mask. And now we've seen all the evidence and the science, and Fauci went running for the hills. Remember, these are the same people that did all this stuff to you and your kids. This is the party. The Democrats are that party. Try to do a little study on who is doing and what they are doing. From the chat line, I voted for this. This is exactly what I wanted. I'm proud of his hard work and dedication to all America, talking about Trump. Even if some people, Dems, can't see it, I'll add to your quote, or refuse to see it. That's the difference between us, Republicans, conservatives, thems, Democrats, liberals. We are here for America and everyone in it. They only see what's right in front of them. And that is 100% true. Guys, God bless you as Americans. God bless you as patriots. Remember to give a good account, to be polite, and to be persistent on everything that is happening. As Glenn reminds us, Bongino said, cutesy time is over. It's time to take back America, and we have. Bye, bye, bye. Remember, everybody who is trying to crap on Trump, crap on our economy, crap on what's happening, because when things change, and they're going to change, and all of this greatness and success continues, the media is going to refuse to give Donald Trump that. We will. We'll be honest, because we give those things out. Special thanks to Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, of course, 18,500 Chesterfield Airport Road. Check it out. One of the best bar grills you're going to find. People go there. There's a reason why they go back over and over and over again. I don't know one person that's went there and did not want to go back. Winty's, work hard, play hard, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Also, special thanks to Capriati's, one of the best sandwich shops around. Great ingredients, make great sandwiches. Capriati's in Rock Hill, open 9 to 9 every day. If you're looking to do something when it comes to catering, try them. Just try them once and tell them you appreciate them advertising here on Cancel This. Their turkey, their Wagyu beef, it's all amazing. It's grilling season. Check out Rockwood Charcoal. It's the best because it's made in the state of Missouri where the best charcoal is made, and it's all natural. You know it's all natural when you take one of those charcoals and you break it apart in your hand, it disintegrates easily. One that has filler in it does not. You can get your Rockwood. The best place to get it is at Ace Hardware. You can order it, or you can go there and get it. Obviously, eBay as well, or Ace Hardware. Check it out. And of course, if you're looking into real estate, we've talked about it. The rates are dropping. The rates are falling. You've got to check this out right now. Megan Livingstone, give her a call, 314-249-1708, 314-249-1708, or email her, Megan@experience-re.com. It's scrolling on your page right now. It is 100% different than it was last year at this time, the market. Get your plan in place right now. You don't have to do anything right now, but rates are going to be coming down. Give her a call. She'll set you up. She'll make sure you understand the market. She is involved in it. It's what she does from the time she wakes up to the time she goes to bed. Give her a call. Check her out. Megan Livingstone, 314-249-1708. It could be for you, a friend, a family member, whatever the case. Let her know you appreciate her advertising here on cancelthisshow.com. Guys, thanks for joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Special thanks to Projo for taking care of business and figuring out the tech issue that we had. And of course, thank you to you guys for liking, subscribing, sharing. You know what it's all about. That does it for fast hour in news and politics in podcasting. For Projo, I'm Vic Faust. Guys, have an awesome day, and we'll see you next time.